Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Congratulations again to my community members for an awesome week here so far. We've taken some massive profits, and that's not just from my signals that I'm sending out. That's actually from trades that you are taking, being very independent and good, healthy, responsible traders. So very, very well done. In fact, let's touch on that really quick just so you guys can all see the trade results that we have here. Look at this. Mechanical investor, 514%, 125x. Keep in mind that they're using small position sizes, and that's the recommendation I always provide. No more than 5% of your portfolio if you're going to be using high leverage. Same thing as well. Look at this here, Zach, 1400%. I mean, nothing really tops that, even though 150% is still fantastic from Jimmy. So again, everyone's doing really awesome, so keep up the great work. Super, super proud of you. And just can't thank you enough for being awesome parts of my life, allowing me to help you become better traders. Taking a look, of course, at Crypto Cash, the partnership I have with Bitget. We have a $10,000 prize pool monthly. We're going to kick that off here very soon. I'm meeting with my Bitget rep tomorrow, and we're going to go ahead and have another one. And really just simple. You can qualify, just link in the description below to register. It's based on trading volume and profit and loss ratio. So it's basically just a 2-week competition we have every month. So check that out in your own time, really awesome. And obviously if you're trying to register and you can't figure out why, because you need a VPN. You cannot essentially use leverage with exchanges outside the US without a VPN. So highly recommend using ExpressVPN, 3 months free with the 12-month plan. Thank you again, Express and Bitget, for just making my community a better place. Thank you. So here's the thing with BNB, really simple and straightforward. We have a nice healthy continuation. It's the same thing with other coins too, don't get wrong. A lot of coins are looking very similar here. But when it comes to situations like this, we need to recognize that this could discontinue at any time. And the reason why I say that, regardless of it being healthy or not, we're overextended at a 9 here on TD sequential. In fact, why don't we go and draw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels and kind of get perspective on what could happen. We'll reverse the levels too, so we can kind of see generally what could happen if this coin were to continue further up, right? Because obviously we want to understand the retracement, but we also want to understand how much further it's going to go if it continues, okay? And that's where reversing your fibs is helpful if you have the extra indicators there. I prefer the 1.272, 0.414, and 0.618. Those are common characteristics in nature. 0.618 is the most common occurrence, so that's usually a key support or resistance. We can see that here as well, reflected right at about the price point of 269. So there's a strong probability that 269 would be the lowest point we'll see in the near future based on just traditional retracement. Okay, so generally speaking, that's looking positive there, but once again, we're overextended. If the overextension at a 9 concurrently has an overextension on the RSI, then we could expect a pullback soon. We see a rejection point at 70 on the RSI, which is actually very good. I like to see this because it does imply that 287, 290, right at that range, is essentially a strong resistance level. Other coins like Ethereum and Bitcoin have broken through that resistance and they continued, but they're only doing so because of short squeezes and longs being hedged otherwise, right? So when we see those kind of things happen, that massive increase through a breakout and a key level resistance, I covered Bitcoin and Ethereum earlier today. Feel free to watch those if you want to know what I'm talking about. It's just a very standard occurrence, but Bitcoin and Ethereum doing very well is a good sign, but they are like 13 days into that continuation. The probability of them pulling back is fairly high. We could experience the same thing from BNB, but I don't think it's going to pull back quite as hard because, once again, even though we're hitting that rejection point, we still have more room to grow, right? Let's take a look at the simple moving averages and kind of see what that means. Not a lot of other coins can say this. Even Ethereum just barely got over the 200-day SMA. But the fact that we're above the 250 and 20 is a really, really good sign here. You can see that 20-day SMA working itself upwards with the concurrent trend line, and all things are positive. All things point upwards here. So another reaffirmation here. Once again, just to clarify, 0.618 there at 270 is a strong support level. Even furthermore, we have a secondary support level, or maybe more so primary, right? And that is right there at the 0.786 mark, which is essentially $278 if I round up a little bit. So 278 should be the immediate support. So the price were to pull back, that'd be probably a good bouncing point. If it were to retrace further, we'd see 270 as a secondary, okay? So those would be good entry targets for long positions if the price were to come back down, right? Again, just different strategies, of course, but that's kind of where we're at there. And then just kind of touch on the obvious. If the price were to continue higher, we could see somewhere in the range of just say 316. That's a better case scenario based on 0.618 being a common area in which the price will tend to reach before it pulls back. So obviously there's a lot of different things that could happen between now and then, but That's essentially some common characteristics we can see. MACD is starting to taper off, but not quite yet, so we still have momentum to the upside. I would just expect BNB to slow down a little bit, need to consolidate perhaps a day or two, and then leg up again. There's a possibility of that. But I wouldn't be surprised the price kind of goes range bound here between 278 and 288, right in that range, okay, before it breaks out either to the upside or rejects to the downside. And I know what you're thinking here, probably shaking your head, oh, it's either going up or down. Figures, right? That's the way trading is, though, right? There's really no other way. Obviously, there's sideways action, in which I think we will do, but for the most part, we got to kind of wait for confirmation of either this trend line or those simple moving averages before we take entry to the upside. There's a few other things we want to look at too. Let's see if overextension tells us anything, because we see we're at a 9 on TD sequential right on the daily. We've had 9 days of bullish continuation. We take a look at the 4 hour. We can see its history here. See, so we came up to basically an 8, right? We came up to an 8, consolidated, up to a 7, consolidation. Perfect. That's a good amount of consolidation. Up to a 7, retrace, consolidate, leg up again to a 5. So this is like a fairly healthy continuation. Again, the up over pattern that I love to teach and love to educate you on, and how beneficial it is. Okay, because again, we're honoring this ascending trend. We're consistently making higher lows and higher highs, and it hasn't broken yet. So until we start establishing lower highs and lower lows, we can expect this to continue higher. Okay. Now, once again, the price pulling back here to 278. There's a good chance we could see that as a bouncing point, because again, it would be another retest of that trend line and a potential increase from there. So to me, I'm going to be kind of paying attention to that 280 mark, kind of just seeing what happens, reevaluate when the price gets there, if the price gets there. Better clarification, if is a key word here, right? Because we don't truly know if it will continue further. But again, it's overextended on the daily. 4 hour, we're getting rejected at 70 as well. And we have a potential, well, neither convergence or divergence. Is kind of just drawing dead. So in that sense, we really have nothing telling us here that's going to break out. But we do also have the indication that we're not overextended completely, but based on relative strength index, we are, okay? To me, RSI plays are pretty good. So for the most part, I would wait to take entry, because again, it is trying to maybe perform a cup and handle here, but it's kind of a stretch, right? We don't want to kind of, you don't take trades on gambles. You take trades on, just extrapolating as much data as you can on each time frame and understanding which direction things are going to go. All right, so that's generally what we're doing here. So far we've built a case that we're definitely bullish, but we're overextended, okay? That kind of tells me that we have slightly more probability of going sideways and down than it would go up from here. Once again, stranger things can happen, but that's generally the consensus. Looking at the hourly, we can see here TD sequential, also hitting a 9 on TDS, back down to an 8. We'll get a little funky retracement there, and then back up to a 4. So we could see another 5 hours continuation to the side and up. If we keep testing this level, it's going to break. There's just no way around it. So I would say if you have a long position open, let's go ahead and see what the cloud tells us. You may want to consider trimming your position soon, because again, we don't have enough leg up, so to speak, here to warrant holding your position open. You may want to consider taking profits. That's a conservative approach, right? And then we have the conversion line just went below the baseline. So that does imply that we're losing momentum to the upside. Once again, MACD on the 4 hours drawing dead. It kind of correlates, right? So if we kind of see that combination, and then of course we have this upper and lower lead kind of trending right in the 280 range, well, generally speaking, we probably want to wait for the price to come down here to test this, see if we break above or if we break below. That would be the confirmation I would like to look for. So again, if the price hits 280, then I'll be notified and I'll clarify and see if everything else looks good. Might even consider a long position from there. A lot of this hinges on how well Bitcoin's doing. Okay, keep in mind Bitcoin is overextended and having a very good day. I'm totally fine with the 5% day from Bitcoin, by the way. It's just that it should not have happened this soon, and it makes me a little concerned that we might see a pullback based on the fact that that's a lot in a little bit of a time frame, right? Again, healthy versus unhealthy, there's differences there. Either way, BNB does look very favorable. I would just wait for the price action to either retest this Fibonacci level at 277 to 280, see if the cloud can hold. If it can, great. If we can maintain a price closer to 50 on the RSI on the daily, that'd be fantastic. So we would need a couple more days of consolidation to be able to see this guy come down a little bit. But right now we are getting rejected fairly hard 2 days in a row. So that does imply that we're probably not going to break that level unless Bitcoin has another good day. Okay. And Bitcoin is due for a bad day soon. I just want to be, friendly advice. It's absolutely going to happen in the relative near future. I don't think we're going to see a sell off to 15K like some people are expecting, but I do think we could very well see a retracement. All right. So knowledge is power, right? Hopefully that made sense and helped you. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCash.tech is the site, link down below. Look forward to working with you. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. See you next one.